10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And now live, the Competition Plus Power Hour. Myself, the Monday Morning Racer, Lee Craft, and also I'm going to bring him on right now, co-host, and I'll switch it. I don't know why that's happening lately. My co-host, Slammin' Sam. And folks, we are looking forward to a great show tonight. Sam, I'm going to bring up the photo. Talk to about who we got on tonight.
Man, we got Mr. TJ, first time in the zoo, Zizzo, and we have John Montecalvo. I'm hoping I said that correctly. We got a great show in store for you guys tonight, talking. And after a 2-week hiatus, believe it or not, we have the jeweler, the pit insider, back from getting all the gold work done in his mouth. The jewelry is back, but Jefferin is back tonight. We did get a couple of fan questions coming in, so that was awesome via the email, and that's powerhourcp@gmail.com. So we thank you guys for that. It's a great show, and I don't know what else is in store, Lee. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to go on, but is there a special segment or something for tonight that people need to know about or anything?
Well, I know that we are going to have the boss on, so we may very well have another edition of Get Off My Track.
And that is good. That is good. As always, so much to talk about as I got the opportunity to go down 6-hour drive down the road to Brainerd, and man, was it a show that NHRA put on. Anyone that's saying drag racing is not alive, anyone that's saying that motorsports, pro mod, mountain motor, pro stock, top fuel, even with the shortened classes, and it's something that we can dive into, but drag racing and NHRA drag racing is doing very, very well. I don't know, maybe I can pass around my eye drops to whoever needs to see it. I just don't get it. Awesome event that Brainerd put on. Awesome facility. If you know anything about us here in the Midwest, we like to have a good time. And I can assure you that anyone that went down to Brainerd and experienced the full Brainerd lifestyle, including the zoo, I can tell you they walked out of there having a darn good time. Camping World, Lee was proud.
Oh, that's the perfect place to have Camping World plastered all over with the zoo. I mean, isn't the zoo itself like 300 acres? Not even just the racing complex, but just the camping itself.
That place, it goes beyond how far the eye can see, especially at night. The people, the carnival rides, the couch motorcycles, the pirate ship.
Sam, it's Tuesday night. There might still be people there way back that can't get out. You never know.
Yeah, well, I had a buddy who's it's really huge for Napa, and he owns a Napa store here in Minot, North Dakota, and he made the trip, and I said, where are you parked? You said, well, I know my camper is way over there somewhere in the mix of all that, and there's a couple of great pictures that were put out. Stevie Fast Jackson, as you know, most people know he's a pilot. He flew on Saturday morning over, and he was just like, look at this place. It's just, for anyone that, even if you don't like drag racing, you could go there and have a week vacation and still have the time of your life.
I thought it was some great drag racing, some great stories. And look, I know people want to harp on the negative right now so much, but look, we're still coming out of a pandemic, maybe even going back into the heightened elements of it to some degree. We're still in an economical situation. I'm just glad we got the cars that we got.
Hold on. Pause. Lee, here we go. We talked about this last week. Out of all the positivity, Stan, you're a great guy, but I got to pull up your comment. Stan, were you there? There's no possible way you can tell me that and here it goes, Get Off My Track Junior Edition, Little Bobby right now. There's no way you can tell me, unless you were there, that the stands were weak. It was a weak crowd. There was people lined up past the finish line down the side fence. There was people packed in the stands on both sides of the stands. I was in this on both sides taking pictures and going back and forth from pits to pits. From people stood in the stands during Mountain Motor Pro Stock. People were in the stands during Pro Mod. People were still in the stands even during the what do you call them? The regular racing. I mean, the stands were packed all day. For you to honestly say that it was a weak crowd, like I said, I got some eye drops here, but people were going back and forth, walking in the pits all day. There was a constant. I can guarantee you there was more people at that race than most people would go to a Super Bowl in Minnesota. I can honestly say that. So overhead helicopter. Oh, okay. I was there. And for you to say that, there's just no way. There was more than, I'd say, over 8,000 campers there.
Sam, you mentioned people in Minnesota going to a Super Bowl. That's pretty low because that's nobody. I don't know why you're.
I'm just saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like there was a packed house, and Roger has pictures on Competition Plus of the stands. I'll have a couple of pictures that I took. If I can upload them right now or find them, I would put them up. But no, I get it. We want to see the place completely packed. But yeah, just I don't know. Great competition. I'm going to go back to our picks real quick, Lee. I know Joe and I talked about it here, but Mr. PFF, I don't know who you are, but your picks were Top Fuel, Antron Brown, Funny Car, JR Todd, and Pro Mod. You had Rick, so you had 0, right? Joe Costella picked Jose in Pro Mod, so he got 1 point there. He had Caps to win and Billy Torrance. Lee, you had Torrance, so you get a point there. Tasca with Funny Car and Pro Mod, you had Stevie Fast Jackson, and you got another point with Mr. JR Carr, Mr. Number 1 all throughout the weekend.
Yes.
And
JR Carr technically has the fastest and quickest Mount Motor Pro Stock, period. He has the record on both counts in the NHRA. Yes.
My picks, let's not even talk about them.
Right. Let's
Scott Milepass had Steve Torrance, so he got a point there. Ron Cass and Stevie Fast, so he gets nothing. And then Adam had Steve Torrance, and he had Jose to win in Pro Mod. So you guys are tied right there. So congratulations to you guys. Sorry, Joe. You got 1 point, and I got 0. So excited to see that. But
for the record, I'm in another league with Darren Williams, American Hot Rod Entertainment, and I picked Torrance, Hagen, Carr, and only missed it on Gonzalez. Which, wow, what a run they're having in Pro Mod right now. Look, everybody will chime in. Oh, Pro Charger. You still got to get a car down the track for one, and they've been able to do it. What a run. Don't take it away from the man and the team. They had the wreck, come back from it, and they're winning. Don't take it away from them. Give them credit.
No, not at all.
Give them their due.
Man, and like I said, across the board, this whole weekend, Brittany gets a number 1 qualifier again. JR Carr gets a number 1 qualifier. And I actually, it's weird to see, and Bobby can attest to this, I had to do the interviews this week of these drivers, and to see the interview transcribed into the, race day recap of him. And it says true to exactly what he says is, yeah, I have a target on my back because I'm number 1, but I'm not given anything different than everyone else. I still have to get down the racetrack and I still have to perform. And that's what he did. So, it is what it is. I mean, Steve Torrence gets another win. I got a great interview with him. If he says it, and he said it true, if this is a slump of 2 races, I like it. Like if that's going to be my slump for the year is, 2 races, I'll take that any day. Hagan, underdog, true underdog this weekend. I don't think anyone kind of expected him to come out and do what he did. Back on Steve Torrence, slept on. I mean, and I told him this earlier when he drove around Ashley after having a cylinder out. I said, man, were you cooking a sandwich or what happened? Like, were you looking at pictures on your phone at the starting line? He just kind of fell on his face, but somehow that Capco car came chugging along. But then in Mountain Motor Pro Stock, just a great showing. I mean, for them to be there, I think it's weird not to have Pro Stock in Brainerd, as Greg Anderson is from, the Minnesota area. Jason Line, 2 of the greats in Pro Stock are from that area where, a lot of your homebred racers are from that area. I think it's kind of weird not to have them there, but still, I think having Pro Mod there and having Mountain Motor Pro Stock there was a great showing.
Mountain Motor Pro Stocks, that rendition of Pro Stock, if you will, love those cars. I can remember the first time I ever saw a Mountain Motor at a IHRA national meet at what was Red River Raceway in Gillum, Louisiana, and I stopped dead in my tracks. I mean, first time seeing a Mountain Motor, you're like, wow, that is a Mountain Motor. And it is it's
huge.
800 something cubic inches. And there's also diversity in that class. Like, they can run carburetors, but some of them are actually running fuel injection. And some of the cars look a little bit more like the actual car than their 500 cubic inch counterparts right now. So love Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Well, look, we got to get Bobby on here soon. We're going to have Jeff Rind on soon. I want to talk about some of the other racing that did happen this weekend very quickly, Sam. So the Midwest Drag Racing Series, they were out there in Great Bend, Kansas at the SRCA drag strip. Joey Oakes, I've never heard his name before. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. I'm going to bring it up right here. He got it done in Pro Mod at the Great Bend Nationals. And then someone that you and I are both familiar with, I had him on my show when you were guest hosting, Sean Bellemere. He got it done in alcohol funny car out there at Great Bend Nationals for the Midwest Drag Racing Series. Sam, for the first time, I believe it was the first time, Southeast Gasser Association was at Motor Mile Dragway. That's connected to the Hagan family, actually. And great complex there with Dragway and Speedway, oval track. But Southeast Gasser Association, they were at Motor Mile Dragway. Congratulations in the AFX class. Robert Frazier, he won. Rick Varner in Superstock. C-Gas, Josh Pruitt. B-Gas, it was Ken Rainwater. Love that last name. And A-Gas, the kings of Sega, if you will, Leslie Horn in Chick Magnet got it done for the drag racing reenactment, as I love to call it over there at Southeast Gasser Association. And then one of the most beautiful pro mods out there, the Far Lane, the Sorcerer, got it done. Freddie Scriba. Freddie, we'll stick with that. Maryland International Raceway got it done in Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod Association. So, man, there was drag racing everywhere. Some great drag racing throughout the country. NHRA, Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod Association, Midwest Drag Racing Series, Sega. What a great weekend. Congratulations to all the winners. And at this point, man, it's time to bring the insider on. Should we do it?
Hopefully we can see all that jewelry that he got in his mouth. So I'm hoping there's some bling going or something. Because, I was parked right next to where he would have been all weekend. Didn't get to see him. So hopefully there's some Coors Light Platinum in that grill now.
There you go. We're going to take a break. Competition Plus Apparel, folks, Competition Plus Apparel, they are live. The Scotty Cannon reprints, they are out there. Check them out at Competition Plus Apparel. Learn more this commercial.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
The jeweler.
So,
Arend is back on the show.
how you guys
Mr.
doing
Coors
tonight?
Light.
We're good. We're good.
Doing
Jeff,
good.
I know it's on your mind. I know. So talk to us about the fields.
The fields, yeah. So obviously, some of the races have been a little light on having full fields, and there's probably a few reasons for it. I mean, obviously, the COVID deal, economics, all that kind of stuff. But Indy we have coming up, Top Fuel 20 cars, Funny Car 19, Pro Stock 21, Top Alcohol Dragster 21. Charlotte, we got 16 in Top Fuel and Funny, and 14 in Funny Car already. St. Louis 16. Dallas looking pretty good. Vegas is 18 and 17, and Pomona is 15 and 17 as of right now. So the demise of NHRA, according to the keyboard crew chiefs, I think is not going to happen. I mean, there's still races getting sold out. Would we all like to see better fields? For sure. How do you fix that? I'm not sure. With only having 10 or 11 or 12 full-time cars in each class, the independents pick and choose where they want to go. Now, if I was an independent, I'd probably go, and I'm not going to go to Indy because there's going to be a shitload of cars there, and I may not qualify. And while you still get some money for not qualifying, it's not as good as a guaranteed qualifying spot. But there are definitely races in markets that are more popular than others. Sometimes when you have back-to-back races, it makes it very tough for an independent team to go to 2 races in a row because most of the people that work on those cars are not full-time employees of that team. They all have normal jobs. So trying to get off, a whole pile of days in a couple of weeks is pretty tough to do. Points battle-wise, I mean, the countdown deal, love it or hate it. I kind of like it because, back in the old days, and it's not even that old, but I remember John Force having the championship locked up by Indy, and the rest of the year was kind of like, all right, he's going to win no matter what. But, when you had the top 10 come in, there were some people that liked it, some people that didn't. But it was kind of cool because it created a lot of excitement coming into the countdown. Who's going to make it, who's not. It put a lot more pressure on the drivers and on the teams to try and get in there. As of right now, I think even with the 1.5 points in Indy, there's not too many people that are in the 10 spot that really are, unless a miracle happens, going to get bumped out of that 10 spot. But there's a lot of people between the 1 and the 10 spot that there could be big changes. I mean, I could see a guy going from 8th up to 4th or something like that in either Top Fuel or Funny Car. So that's going to be kind of exciting getting into the countdown deal. Indy should be a great race. I mean, usually they prep the track pretty good. It might be a little warm there, but we're going to see some good runs in Indy. Going to see some good competition, lots of cars, more than full fields. So when you have, a field that's bigger than 16 and you only have these free qualifying runs like we're running right now, I think Indy might be 4, I'm not sure, but it just makes it way tougher for even the big teams because if you goof up on the first one, now you're a little worried because some of the independent teams can run like pretty good. So definitely more pressure for everybody, whether you be a driver, a crew chief, or whatever, and should be really exciting for the fans.
It definitely should be exciting for the fans, Jeff, and we're looking forward to it. I think Sam had maybe at least one question that was out there from the fans. So, Sam?
I emailed that over to you, but I will pull it up right here.
Yeah,
really quick here.
Surprise.
Uh-oh. Got to get to the right email address. Boom.
Sam.
Hey, I sent the email to the guy. All right, here it is. Pulling it up right now.
All right.
And it reads, Morning, Sam, yourself, Lee, and the jeweler. Find out what's going on with Pro Mod and the car count is way down. Indy not a full field. Will we see one? Can Justin Bond get his hot rod fixed? I know things have been going on. How is the jeweler? And that's pretty much what that was about. So you talked about it. It was the car count, and are we going to see a full field in Indy? And right now, I'm on a big push. Talked to a couple of drivers here this weekend. There will be some stuff coming out on Outlaw Performance ENT. Stay tuned to that and Slam and Sam's page. But can we pack Indy? And that's a question that I think is a good segue for you, Jeff, and then to get Bobby Bennett on to talk a little bit about that. But what for you, Jeff, as your race career and everything, now on the outside looking in, what would it mean for you to see Indy packed?
Well, like as we talked about, they're pretty full fields in some of the other classes. Pro mods, they kind of self-support their series in a way, and there are a lot of other places for pro mods to go race. There's also some cars that aren't legal for NHRA Pro Mod that would cost some money to make them legal for it. And, let's face it. I mean, I love pro mods. I don't know all the rules in some of the other classes, but, NHRA generally is your cream of the crop in every other class. So you could be the IHRA, world champion and barely be able to qualify for an NHRA race. When it comes to pro mods, it's probably not the case because there's a lot of good series out there with a lot of great drivers, great teams that run really well. But again, they have to pick and choose where they want to go. I think some of the other classes or some of the other sanctioning bodies have a better payout. So, at one time, Indy, that's the race to win. I don't care if you only ever won one race in your life. And if you're a pro mod guy, that Indy should be the one because they was always the one for every professional drag racer or sportsman drag racer. If you only ever won one race, Indy was the one to do it. And I think Indy's lost a little bit of that luster that used to have where everybody in the world would want to go there because it meant so much.
No, and I totally get that and understand that. And that's kind of what some of the drivers were saying is if you want to win one of them, if there's something on your bucket list to win, Indy is that race. So for you, another question is, what do you think us media people or us fans, what do we do and how do we show our support to the crews, to the NHRA and everyone in getting to that race?
So if you're a spectator at a race, and obviously I've been a spectator a lot of times coming out to the races, but NHRA spectators are generally very brand loyal. So, if you are a Ron Capps fan, you're probably going to buy your parts at Napa, and that's what really keeps sponsorships of those big teams really going. On these smaller independent teams, maybe they need a little more support from some people, and they need to be out there, obviously. And we've seen a few times, especially at Denver, where some people you didn't think would get to the final or close to it, they did because it was a tough field. When you get into Star Wars conditions where the track's prepped perfect and it's not like 100 degrees outside, generally you're going to see the bigger teams, rise to the top like they always do. The cream always rise to the top. I don't care what class you're in. And I've said this in the past, there's no knock to racers, but the racers are the people that are generally driving the price up for everybody else. I remember when Nostalgia Funny Car started, you could go out there and run 620 or 630, go out there, have a good time qualifying, not hurting any parts. You bring the car back, turn the barbecue on, have some hot dogs. You would never put a clutch in it. You might leak the motor, make sure it's okay. And then after a little while, people want to go faster. So some people with a little bit of money come in and they're willing to put a clutch pack in every run. So they're going to run a little bit better. And then there's a lot of these guys starting to run and the manufacturers go, hey man, I'm going to build a blower for that class, or AJ's going to build a nostalgia head. And after a while, they start putting all this stuff in there and it gets to be really expensive. But I don't think it's not the sanctioning body doing that. It's more the racers making it more expensive for themselves. And people will always have more money than other racers. Some racers can just do it on pure talent. But in the end, if you have the money and you can buy the best parts, you're generally going to run better if you're fairly smart. So, you can't blame it all on sanctioning bodies. I think the racers have a lot to do with it. Everybody wants to go faster. It's just the way we are. That's why we're racers. But when you do that, then the manufacturers see all the people doing it. The supply for superchargers comes out, and ProMod, I think a supercharger was like 25 or 30 grand, where 20 years ago that they were like 5 grand. And you can still probably buy a $5,000 or $10,000 one, but you're not going to win anything. So again, I don't know how you fix that. That's a pretty tough deal to do. I think in the fuel classes, which I'm a little bit more into, the big teams have actually helped the small teams out a lot. Like a Torrance, he'll go up there and run his heads, and if he fuzzes a chamber or does something that he doesn't want to fix, he's going to sell those heads that are basically like brand new to a smaller team for half price. And if a big team has a budget like a Torrance or like a lot of other people out there, they're going to help the smaller teams. They don't want to see all downs. They're going to run better. And they're going to basically buy their parts now for 50% of the value. So they can keep putting new shit into stock, by buying it brand new and selling their other stuff at 50% off to all the smaller teams, which is a great deal for them because they're not buying junk like they used to from like 20 years ago and had been welded and fixed up a million times. So the whole deal with the big teams, they help the small teams way more than the average spectator probably knows. And that's the reason that you have fields that are so close now. So it's if I knew the magic answer, how to make everything more even and everybody have a good chance of doing things, I'd probably be really rich. But, the way the sport is right now, I think we're doing pretty good. The racing's as close as it's ever been. Could there be more people there? Yeah, probably, but or more car count. But I think eventually it's gonna get better, and I think it's been getting better over the last year or two.
Jeff, thank you for the insight from our insider. You, sir, have a good rest of your evening and enjoy whatever cigar you've chosen along with your Coors Light.
You know that for sure. Have a great night, guys. See you later.
Thanks again, Jeff. Hey, Lee.
Yes.
Before we go on, does that look like a weak crowd to you?
Looks like a good crowd to me.
Okay, just double checking.
Oh,
and for Bobby.
And right now,
right
before we go to Bobby, look, boom, Competition Plus swag right there. Slamming Sam, modeling it from, I assume, on top of the tower. CompetitionPlus.com is the place where you can believe what you read on the internet. And
before Bobby dives into, we're going to bring a great question up or a statement up for Bobby to intro into. This is going to be great. Lee, roll that clip, and then I can't wait to see Bobby's response to this. We're going to set him up. Here it goes.
Hang on. Bobby, you're next.
Bobby Bennett. You ready for this?
Wait a minute.
He's watching himself, Lee.
He's watching himself. Wow.
Bobby Bennett.
It is me.
You ready for this?
Yeah. Let me turn my other computer.
Yeah, you gotta turn the other computer.
I'm looking at something else.
He's watching himself.
Yeah, there we go.
Rookie mistake. All right, Bobby.
Let me turn my other computer.
We've got to
hold on here. I'm not only the owner, I'm the one who screws it up. Okay.
Jeez.
Hold on here.
We're gonna have to
get off your computer.
We gotta mute him, Lee. We can't continue the show with him having all this stuff.
Roll that.
All right, Bobby. Now we can't hear him. Now he's muted.
Pete.
All right. Jesus. All right, Bobby. Bobby, here you go. I need you to answer this. Here you go.
Look, my script was equal to yours. Hold on, I got to get my glasses. I'm old. Indy doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just another event, but dragged out longer. Guys, turn the show off. Let's quit. Nothing means anything anymore. We're just going through the motions, right? Jesus. God. Okay, here's the deal. For all of you who think drag racing circling the drain, do us all a favor and go to NASCAR, okay? If you really want to see what circling the drain is, then go to NASCAR. You'll get a good example right there. So here's the deal. Drag racing, while all the other motorsports suffered through this COVID deal, which was terrible, drag racing is the one sport that actually made gains. Was it perfect? No. But we didn't fall back as far as the other motorsports. Yes, I can see where some people say that maybe Indy's not what it used to be. Well, guess what? I'm not what I used to be, and some of us are not what we used to be either. But the event is still prestigious. You win Indy. You go out there and drag race and you win Indy and tell me if it doesn't mean something to you. Oh, it's just another race. I think not. Come on, guys. I thought you had something for me here.
All right, so Bobby.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, why are you on the show? What is it tonight?
Here. I was doing some research. Hold on. Let me turn this up so I can hear you. All right. I was doing some research. So when we were talking about small fields and everything like this, now we agree that maybe most of these guys say 1979, 78, 77. Those are the glory years of drag racing.
Oh, Bobby, I know where you're going. Don't do it to him, Bobby. Don't do it.
Look at the entry list for Funny Car for a race here. The entry list. And guess who was missing? Don the Snake Perdome, Tom the Mongoose McEwen. They were missing. Okay? And also look at this. 8-car fields. 8-car fields. So I give the NHRA credit. Where we used to have 8 races a year, you guys that are in drag racing today, you've never had it so good. You complain about the TV. Complain about the TV, okay? We used to have to look in National Dragster to see what Sunday afternoon, 3 months after the race was over, that the show was going to come on. And y'all complain because it gets delayed by 30 minutes.
You're right, Bobby. Man, we have got it really good right now. Not to mention, if you want to buy into NHRA.TV,
hey, you'll never miss a run.
You're never going to miss everything.
Now, it might drag and it might slow down, but that's because your dial-up's not working the way it should.
Bobby, it just fascinates me when I feel like the average fan just does not have enough historical context on the sport. You know, I go back oftentimes. The first Southern Nationals, it was 8-car fields.
Yeah, it was. And you know, the thing is that when we were little, when I was little, I used to everything that I could find that had drag racing in it. And I know this is hard for you guys to believe, but I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see some of the comments. But when I was little, I used to check the TV guide. There was a book that actually came out that would tell you what was going to be on television stations. There was no pushing a button to see, what's coming on next on your satellite. No, it was three stations and for me, I didn't know what color the Blue Max was until I went to my first national event. All it looked like to me was black and white. But, you know, the thing is that maybe 4 or 5 out of 8 NHRA events was televised. All the others, you had to wait for National Dragster to come out. Or Super Stock and Drag Illustrated. And then you finally saw who won the World Finals if you didn't have a Dragster subscription. You got to see sometime around Christmas time who won the World Finals. Drag racing fans have never had it so good. And you know, us at Competition Plus, we'll take some of the credit for making stuff more instantaneous, the news.
You can say it. You made drag racing great again.
Well, you know, I played my role. You know, the thing is that all of that stuff comes with a price. When you read these articles and you nitpick things, you don't understand that maybe this person, and I don't want any sympathy or boo-hooing, but you don't realize that maybe that reporter that's at a race that's been working 14 to 16 hours a day every day maybe missed his kids' Little League baseball game. I missed 2 kids growing up building Competition Plus. I missed bona fide my oldest 2 kids. I missed them growing up. You know, you go off to the races one day, and then the next thing you know, your kids are moving out, and that's a price that comes with all of this. You know, I used to tell people in the early days of Competition Plus that we're like the magazine that you could sit on your coffee table and magically reprints itself every night. And that's what it is. I mean, so, you know, the older days were great. And I use that old line with Eddie Murphy, and I won't use all the context of what he said when he was in his comedy act. He says, man, if you hadn't eaten in a year and you find one cracker and eat it, that's going to be the best cracker you ever ate. Man, well, that was so good. Was that a Ritz? Well, that's the way it was for us back in those early days of drag racing. We didn't get that much television coverage. And when we got it, that's why that Diamond P stuff was so special. But if you look back at it, even the old Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazines, I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, some of this stuff is Bush League. But when I was a kid, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I had 2 goals in life when I was a kid. I wanted to drive a D-modified production Corvette and be the editor of Superstock and Drag Illustrated. Those were my 2 goals in life. You know, I could have probably went on and played pro ball or something like that, but instead I wanted to drive a D-modified production. Then they threw modified out of the NHRA, and then it just had to change my life's plans.
Well, speaking of plans, Bobby, we got to get Mr. Montecalvo on here pretty soon. So anything else?
I encourage everybody to go to quartermileclassifieds.com, which we're operating out of Facebook right now, and give it a like and a follow and share when you can. We are going to simplify the world of online classified advertising. Competition Plus apparel, we're getting new shirts in. Scotty Cannon series, we sell them out usually within a week of getting our shirts. And we got some Ed the Ace McCullough coming, maybe some Charles Carpenter. So we got big things working at. And one more thing for Indianapolis, we're going to do our great expanded coverage. We're bringing everybody, including the great Les Mayhew, to be our video notebook guy.
All right. Sounds good. Indy will be epic on all accounts. Bobby, thank you for coming on and telling people to get off your track.
Yeah. If you're going to come on here with this circling the drain crap, get off of my track, get out of my drag strip, and go over there and watch that doggone racing where the cars go slow enough to turn left. Do that. Do us all a favor, okay? And get the hell off of my track.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.
And now,
Wow.
live, John Machine Gun Montecalvo, or as Johnny Pacino likes to say, BB Gun. John, how you doing, man?
BB.
I'm doing fine. We're actually sitting in the boat here in Fire Island, and life is good right now.
Sam, he's on a boat. He's on a boat like regularly. Why aren't we on the Competition Plus boat? What's up?
Bobby, you need to make this happen. Live from somewhere drinking Mai Tais on a boat. Like it.
Yeah. John, all I got to say is I better get on the boat before the limo guy does, all right?
All right, we'll work on that. We'll work. Limo guy was out here last weekend.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Look, that's what we want to talk about. Folks, also, if you want to see the footage, Limo Guy at large on YouTube, you can find it there, also on Facebook. But, man, John, look, congratulations. Drag racing back on Long Island. The setup looked great. I know you played a big part in that. Just dive on in and express what the weekend means to you and what it is meaning right now for Long Island, the historical nature of it, all of it. So excited for y'all up there.
You know, pulling in that gate, obviously I played a part in the construction and the permit process and all that, but they had just done a phenomenal job. You know, we acquired the barriers for Pete, and he's got quite a crew there with Tom and Eric working, and day by day, it was phenomenal to see the progress that was going on. So we designed it, I helped Pete with that, and everything just flowed wonderful. But I got to say, pulling in the gate that last Saturday morning, it was really emotional for me. I had to just stop the car and just absorb everything that I saw. I didn't think, well, I can't say I didn't think. I thought that there would be a day when we had drag racing, but it just still was overwhelming just to see what was going on there. And seeing the smiling faces and the cars online waiting to get teched in. It was just, like I said, a very emotional time for me. Now, as far as the race itself goes, it went off without a hitch. I mean, there was a lot of people that were leery of what was going to happen, how the track was going to be prepped. Not too many people on Long Island, that we had 2 quarter-mile tracks at one time, and they weren't used to running 8th mile. So they were a little bit concerned about that too, whether they were going to enjoy it or not. But I tell you, overwhelmingly, it was unbelievable the response that we got. The local police department, they were overjoyed. The superintendent of the town, Yvette Aguilar, she did a phenomenal job getting this thing permitted, helping us out there. And if it wasn't for her, this never would have happened. She was in our corner from day one. And she actually made the second run down the track. You know, she was in a friend of mine's car, and she did pretty good driving it.
And as we all... Oh, go ahead.
The first 2 cars down the track were ideally little Billy Madden, 7 years old, and little Jason Dobry, 2 junior dragsters, which that was a perfect first 2 cars to go down that track, because what we're trying to do is show the politicians and show the public that was somewhat against this thing that it's a wholesome family sport. You know, we had 3 generations there. I had 3 generations there, and Billy Madden had 3 generations there, and that's what it's all about. You know, we're looking to bring people that have never even seen a drag strip. Figure our last one closed 17 years ago. So, we're just trying to bring awareness to the sport.
And I think that's what it's all about is, when you do open something new like what you're doing, is making sure that people understand, hey, we're not just doing it for, the 20 and older crowd or, just to get the kids off of the street. But 1, it shows them that, hey, we're getting kids off the street from racing. But 2, like you said, the most important was having those younger kids go down the track and continue a tradition that, hopefully they bring their kids to the track later in life.
Definitely, Sam. On Long Island, there's plenty of places where you could play golf, you could play tennis, you could do all that. There's no place for drag racing. And, we're the 3 of us here, we're all avid fans of drag racing, competitors. And to me, there was like no stepping stone. If you wanted to be a drag racer, you had to travel 4 hours away. And most of these kids and their families either couldn't afford the time or the money to do that.
So, John, the main question I have over just this paramount historical moment for Long Island drag racing is, did you take a hit down the strip, man?
Believe it or not, I didn't. You know, I had my Camaro there. It was on display. I know. Looking back on it, I think I was just so involved with what was going on and just I was blown out by it. But I had the Camaro there. And believe me, I wanted to go out and do a burnout, but it was only for muffled vehicles, and which worked out very well. You know, there was decibel readings, and it was well below what was standard, what was allowed. But yeah, it was killing me with the Camaro sitting there, not being able to do a burnout. I actually was going to bring my Nova out. My Nova I've raced before, but I had a little issue with it that day. I actually broke the flywheel, so we kind of canned that. And the only thing I got left to ride is probably my Ford Explorer. So I might have that out next weekend. But there was everything you could imagine. There was everything from Volkswagens to Lamborghinis. It was incredible.
Man, spectacular.
Yeah, you know, I was supposed to be out in Brainerd. I just saw Roger writing in that, you know, that he missed us out there. But to me, I can always go to Brainerd. There's only one first day when there's a new track open up on Long Island. You know, that's not going to happen too often. So to me, it was more important to be there for a lot of reasons. For one, it was history. For two, you know, my heart was into it. I spent a lot of time putting this thing together, helping Pete out. And, you know, it was just a historical moment. You know, I felt like that's where I need to be. And I want to be there just to make sure everything went smoothly, which it very well did.
So, John, give us the lowdown. What is the rest of the schedule look like? And if I remember, you all were limited on how many people you can have. Is that the case?
That is the case. I don't know if that's going to increase because last weekend went so well. But on Pete's permit, originally he was allowed 4,000 people. They cut him down to 1,300. So there was a little over 1,300 maybe. And probably, I think it was like 206 race cars that actually attended. There's 3 more weekends coming up, Saturday and Sunday. This Saturday is going to be a night race, starting 4 o'clock in the afternoon, going to 11 o'clock at night, and back to Sunday afternoons. But, you know, from there, we're hoping that maybe they'll extend Pete's permit, or maybe we could do this again next year.
And so, you know, after you look back, after a weekend, a historical weekend like that you guys had, what do you think the atmosphere from the people that are writing you these permits and the people that are, you know, giving you guys a leeway, what do you think that they honestly felt or saw while out there?
I think they were astonished, Sam. You know, the supervisor was there. All the town board members were there. Chief of police was there. The fire marshal was there. Every agency that was ever involved with this project, even the DEC was there, because there's protected grasslands that nobody could trespass on. Everybody was on their best behavior. And I think they were totally astonished on how well it went. And I think that means good things for the future.
And Sam, man, look, let me tell you, and for everybody out there that is watching, what they accomplished in this day and time, it's almost hard to put into words, because to get things accomplished in New York right now, which is a beautiful state, it is challenging. So, John, Sam, I pastored a small church in upstate New York outside of Rochester, and the little town I was in, to have a shed, a building like you buy from the Amish and put on your yard, you had to have architectural drawings submitted to the town, and it was a town vote. And we also had to apply for a variance because we already had one shed already on the property. And they got a drag strip on Long Island. Yes! Good job, John.
You know, everybody swore it was never, well, not everybody, but there was a lot of Debbie Downers out there. This is never going to happen. It's impossible to do. And I like those challenges. And luckily we had Pete that was willing to come up here. You know, he had success in other parts of the country. He's got that Green Cove Dragway and a few others that he's done very similar to this that were temporary facilities. I know the Voss boys spoke very highly of him. My friend down there, Cliff France, same thing. He, he said Pete is the guy, and Pete's been trying to do this on Long Island for probably, I don't know, at least 5 years. And all we really wanted was just, all we kept hearing is noise, noise, noise. It's going to be too much noise. And all we really wanted to do was prove that it wasn't going to be, because we all knew this is a 3,200 acre site. I mean, it's incredible. It's a 7,000 foot runway on one side, 10,000 foot runway on the other. There's not a house for a good mile, maybe 2 miles. And they used to build and fly F-14s out of it. It's an old Grumman site. So we knew we were going to be fine as far as the noise levels go. And think of it this way also. This is just a temporary facility. If we were to build something permanent, we could do a lot of different things to reduce noise. We could build berms on each side. There's so many different ways that we could reduce noise that I honestly believe that this place is ripe for a national event.
So with everything you've got going on in your businesses, how much work did you guys put into getting the track developed and together?
Well, Sam, really what I did is I called in a lot of favors in the construction industry, and I'm sure I'm going to have to pay those favors back because that's the way we work. One hand washes the other. The barriers we got from JD Basilico, they're probably the largest road building company on Long Island. Part of them came from there. The other part came from Chesterfield Associates out in West Hampton. And the funny story about that, kind of ironic, is that those barriers came off of the Long Island Dragway that was located in West Hampton that closed 17 years ago. So both those companies jumped in. We had Rosemar, a good friend of mine, Bobby Garone. He did the trucking. We had another company doing trucking. And everybody just jumped in. It was incredible to see the spirit and the community come together and just do everything you had to do there. My cousin does sealing and asphalt maintenance. He sealed all the cracks on the track and put the striping in and all that. And man, it's absolutely incredible how many sponsors jumped on board in a short period of time.
All right, so to dive into your racing, we know that you missed Brainerd here this weekend. What did you think? Looking back, I don't know if you caught some of the broadcast or anything, but what did you think of the Mountain Motor Pro Stock field there in Brainerd?
I think it was a very strong field, Sam, and I think the guys did a great job out there. I was very proud of them. The reception that they received from the fans was overwhelming. Everybody came back and gave me good reports. They said the fans were going crazy over our cars, which I figured that they would. And everything went excellent, I felt. I think that they did a great job, and the fans love this class. And from what I understand, they want to, everybody's saying that they want us back there again. I don't know if that'll happen because I know NHRA is trying to move us around and expose us to different markets. But I'm kind of, on one hand, of course, I had to be out here and for the opening of this track, but I'm kind of sorry that I missed that because all I've heard about was the zoo and everything that was going on. And they also said the track was in good shape and everybody ran pretty quick there. So hopefully next year we do go back there.
So, John, with Mountain Motor Pro Stock, we may have some viewers who are not familiar with Mountain Motor Pro Stock. It's amazing to me how often I have people chime in on my videos when I film you all at PDRA, or the one time they got to film a NHRA event with you all racing, that they don't know what the differences are with the 500 cubic inch cousin. So break down all the differences that Mountain Motor Pro Stock has and offers in comparison to the 500 cubic inchers.
Basically, there's the first difference is that the NHRA Pro Stock cars are 500 inch. The Mountain Motor cars are 830 with a Hemi head motor, 842, I believe, with a wedge head motor, which Dwayne Rice runs. We have clutches. Some of the cars have Liberties. Some of the cars have Lenkos. Some of the cars have carburetors. Some of them have fuel injection, but they all have big hood scoops, and we go fast. The record right now, I believe JR won a 617 at some point last year, and I think the mile an hour record's up around 227 miles an hour. So big difference in performance. The cars are hard to drive. They move around. They're not on a string. You have to muscle them around a little bit. And, gigantic wheelies, they're carrying the wheels out a couple 100 feet. They're, they're exciting from my point of view anyway. They're very exciting to drive. And anywhere we've gone, we've got a great reception from the fans that they love seeing these things. They're a beast. They're a total beast.
I think the way that they ran, I think for every class, the way that they ran this weekend was phenomenal. But if they're going to run that good again in Brainerd or bring you guys back, just throw you guys in the mix with, with Pro Stock and let you guys just run it out and see. Because I think that'd be a good weekend. I know some people may disagree with me there, but let you guys run it out.
What do you mean, Sam? I'm not following. Like run against the 500-inch cars?
Yeah, why not? We all want to see it anyway.
Well, I'd like to see us give them a spot on the tree. I think it'd be great to see them leave first and us track them down up on top end, go by them and spin them around a little.
Well, we've had Erica Enders on and Johnny Pacino in the comments, or as I call him. I know he's got a nickname for you, so Johnny Pistachio. But I've told him, Erica says she would beat him. Courtney says she would beat Johnny. But we all want to see the race anyway. I mean, I don't think there's a fan out there that doesn't want to see Mountain Motor versus Pro. I mean, let's just do it. Why not?
Right. Like I want to see Mountain Motor added to the World Door Slammer Nationals, and
that's huge.
Yeah, and the winner of the Mountain Motor and the winner of the 500 cubic inch goes up for like another 10 grand against each other in like a final of the finals or something.
I like that. I think that would be very exciting for us, very exciting for the fans. And like I said, up around, probably up around 1,200 feet, we'd go by them like they were standing still and spin them around probably.
Attention in the pits. Attention in the pits. Wes Buck. Richard Freeman. C-Tech Manufacturer. The World Door Slammer Nationals needs Mountain Motor Pro Stock. The limo guy has said it. Someone needs an invitation this year. Let's go.
Definitely. And hey, John, talking about excitement, you all have plenty of excitement elsewhere because the NHRA is running you all as exhibition at the moment, but the PDRA says you are one of our pro classes and really have kind of been able to make a home there here lately with the Mountain Motor Pro Stock Association and the cars. Talk to us right now about the, I'm going to say it, three-way battle we've got going into the last two races of the season with Chris Powers, Johnny Placino, and a outside but looking in J.R. Carr, who would be coming off of the most recent PDRA win and NHRA win.
I don't know if you could hear me, but I kind of lost you on that one.
Oh, boy. That was a lot, too.
Sam, can you hear him, Sam? I'm not hearing him too well.
I can hear him. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm like hearing every other word, so we're not doing good here. Connection.
Uh-oh. Sam, you take it.
Move it around a little, see what happens.
He's going to show us some of his boat there, Lee, is what he's telling us.
Right.
He was talking. Lee's question was describe the. Don't put me on the spot here, Lee. What was it? Describe the three-way battle that you guys have got going on in PDRA.
Describe the three-way battle that we have going on. I'll tell you what, you got some tough cars there. Johnny could cut your eyes out. There's no doubt about that. JR's got tremendous amount of power. And Chris Powers, he's doing very well with that car. He's going to be bringing a new one out, I believe, at Charlotte. So some tough competition there. There's no doubt about it.
All right, John, can you hear me now?
I can.
All right. So, look, my last question for you. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll be moving on and getting TJ Zizzo on pretty soon. What are your hopes for the Mountain Motor Pro Stalkers as a whole? What are your hopes? Because it's been an up and down deal with kind of losing the home place in IHRA professional categories. Where do you want it to get to?
I think it's a phenomenal class, obviously, and we've got some new competitors coming in. The class is definitely growing, and I think NHRA has helped us with that, get the word out and expose the class to a wider audience. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see it become a professional class in NHRA. You know, to me, we've been a professional class no matter where we race, whether it was IHRA, ADRL, PDRA. We're professionals, and to me, for this class to get to the next level, it really needs to become a professional class in NHRA. I don't know if we're ever going to get there or not, but to me, to make this class move forward, that's where we need to be. It's still the big show. You know, people can say what they want, but they treat us very well when we go over there. You know, there's tons of people in the stands. There's tons of people coming around asking questions. So to me, that's the goal. The goal would be to get about eight or nine races over at NHRA. Still do our PDRA thing. I would never desert them. But I think with the new cars being built and with the exposure that we're getting everywhere, I think we'll be able to have full fields no matter where we go. So to me, the ultimate goal would be, me personally, and for the class, I think our best situation would be to have maybe 8 mountain motor races over at NHRA and become a professional class there. And still, you know, have time to fit in our PDRA races also.
And, you know, you're a multi-time champion. You have a lot. What would it mean to get one more title? Like, what would that mean for you?
Quite honestly, Sam, I'm kind of like over that. I decided that I wasn't going to chase points. What I'm going to do is just bounce around. I'm going to go to the races that I want to go to. Obviously, you know, I missed Brainerd. So, and there's really no points championship there neither. Now, if there was a series that we ran with NHRA for 8 races, yeah, I would like to do that. That would inspire me to go for another championship. Other than that, if that doesn't develop, I'm just going to not chase points anymore. I'm going to go out and have fun.
That's
and use
awesome.
this boat occasionally.
Well, John,
no, and that's
always, what go ahead, Sam.
That's what it's all about. And, you know, for a lot of people, it may be that one more, but like you said, if there was something on the NHRA side, that would be cool for you to, you know, endure that challenge. But for right now, you're just out having fun, enjoying the sport that we all love, which is drag racing. So for me, I mean, that really answers it up and seals it up for me. You're just out there having fun and doing what you like to do.
I'm losing you guys again. I don't know what's going on with my connection here, but it's not good. You know, I can hear, like I said, every other word, Sam.
All
John,
right.
Look, how about this? You go have fun on the boat. You've come on the show. You've done a great job for us. Congratulations again, Long Island, having drag racing. And until next time, man, you know, keep selling for us all.
All right. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon. I can
Thank
hear
you.
But, all right, I'm signing off.
Man, that's awesome. I do too.
I'm going to go on the boat.
Lee, do you want to go to the zoo?
I do want to go to the zoo.
So did this next guy. Man.
Yeah, we got
what a weekend.
He's in studio right now. It looks like he's about to cook something up. We got to get him on before, you know, we got him checked out, and he's Chef Zizzo or something over there. I don't know what he's doing. So, should we bring him on?
If you want to bring on the guy that drives this Rust-Oleum hot rod, you want to see what he looks like getting into that car? Just beautiful. Look at that amazing suit, Lee. Who
Dude,
comes out styling and profiling in the white suit, though?
Look, the hauler, the truck, the suit, the car. It's all
Dude.
fly, man. They're one of the best looking gangs out there. They really are.
Lee,
I love the gold one, then the red one, and then this one's got like some blue and stars on it. I love it. I love it. They
Lee,
represent Rust-Oleum.
that picture.
I want to go buy a can of Rust-Oleum right now and start spraying stuff. It looks so good. I love it.
No lie, Lee. Before I took that picture, he was doing the robot into the car when he was sliding down. I'm telling you, this man is one of the coolest guys that you will see at a drag strip. Lee, we don't need to go to a break. We've already gave him an intro. Just bring on the Zizzo.
TJ Zizzo.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure.
Dude, what's going on?
Let me
what
see.
Are we like?
Hey, Sam, I'm still trying to sober up from the zoo, brother. That's why I got myself just a little bit of scotch tonight, relaxing.
Hey, man, what happens in the zoo stays in the zoo. That's all I'm going to say there.
There you go.
What a weekend.
Sam, I got to tell you, we stumbled a little bit, right? But we stumbled a little bit on Saturday. We haven't raced for 10 months. It's been a long, long time. But Sunday we picked it up. We got back to where we belong. It was just a day late, right? Off the trailer, ran that fine 386. Thought that was a good start. And then from there, hey, like I said, guys, if you don't do this daily, you could think that you're going to be great all you want. But truthfully, when you get to that track, and you realize on a Friday, it feels like it's a Sunday and you're exhausted already, and you can't get your butt in the car because you're a little out of shape and probably a little overweight. And then, of course, you can't get out of that car because you're a little out of shape and a little overweight. I will tell you, it was exhausting. I felt like I was chasing a ball around the golf course all day long. Like, holy I'm in the weeds one moment, and then I'm out in the fairway the next. And then I'm back in the rough stuff. So we got through it. It was, we represented our companies fantastic. I know NHRA and Fox did a good job with us. So it's all good, man.
So what was it like having the wine connoisseur himself in the pits giving some recommendations? And I want to hear like the most outlandish or surprising recommendation he did have in his observations. Mr. Tobler helping out with the team, which is cool. Very cool.
You want to hear the one that I laugh about the most?
Yes, we do.
Here we are. And you guys are going to laugh your tails off. Can I swear at all or no?
Well, Bobby probably wants to keep this monetized, so maybe just lightly.
Okay, lightly. So Ron Tobler was at our shop over the off season, right? Great guy, known him for a long time. We go out. He says, hey, when he was at the shop, he goes, hey, can you get that tire temp working for me? TJ, seriously, can you get that tire temp working? And me, Tony Smith, we all said, yeah, no problem, man. We'll get that working for you. So we go to the racetrack, and it doesn't work. He's like, hey, I thought it was working. And we're like, well, I don't know, Ron. It worked at the shop. Maybe the angle's wrong on it. Maybe the infrared's out. I don't know. It worked at the shop when we put the heat gun to it. Maybe it got dirty after the burnout or something because TJ did a hellacious burnout by accident out there. No, that wasn't the case. So Ron is a gentleman and a scholar, right? I mean, he cares about this sport. He cares about our team. He cares about every single team member he has ever worked for, team owner he's ever worked for. He's a really great human being. So he walks around the car a bunch of times. He was just observing this weekend, just checking things out. And we go up to put all of our body panels back on the race car. We put them all on there. He's excited to see that, hey, your infrared tire temp doesn't work because guess what? There's no hole through the carbon fiber body to direct it to the rear tire. So it was just, at that very point, he's a knowledgeable guy. He's been around race cars his entire life. This is what he knows, and this is why he's so damn good. all of us passed up that except him. So that was like the good tidbit of the weekend of like, man, we have Ron Tobler in our pit area. It's pretty cool, and he's badass. So, and my dad loves that term. All weekend long, everything was badass, and by the end of the weekend, he was saying, "TJ, that's badass." So, anyway, sorry about the swearing, Bobby. I really do. So that's one tidbit that we learned throughout the weekend, right? But I'll digress a little bit. For those who don't know, Ron has been a part of our team for a decade and a half. He's always been there tutoring, but he has never been in our pit area all weekend long. Maybe in 2008, possibly was it 2008 when we were at Milan, Michigan. Maybe it was even 2006 for an IHRA event. He was hanging around a little bit because he lived up there for the weekend when we were at an event that, he had the weekend off for. But he has been a great friend of our entire teams for a long time. So he knows a little bit about our team, a little bit about who we are. He knows all the team members, but he has never sat in on a weekend of racing. He's never sat with Mike Kern all weekend long and just observed. And that's what he was doing all weekend long. All Ron Tobler wanted to do was just observe, just hang out, see what's going on in Zizzo racing, understand how we do things. And he was so good about that. I mean, we had redone our semi and reconfigured our lounge. What used to be a lounge is now an office. So Mike Kern had a lot of new objects and new computers and new weather stations and new antennas and knew everything to deal with, right? That we used for the first time. So Ron knew that Mike was in a new environment. Mike also hasn't raced for 11 months. So there was a lot for Mike to digest, just like the rest of us. So finally, when we got some runs under our belts, Ron was able to digest some things and talk about a philosophy and a strategy for going to St. Louis. Now, guess what? Ron sees our team. He understands how hard we work. He knows our strategies. He understands that we love this sport. He even said to me afterwards, he goes, "Hey, I was a little confused on Sunday after we lost. The guys were trying to get all their stuff together and pack everything in the lounge for the road, and our semi is packed to the gills." And he's like, "It's kind of cool. I forgot about those days, TJ." But he said, "I remember those days because I was that guy for a long time, where everyone has to scramble to go back to work and fly somewhere while there's a couple people finishing things up to hit the road in the semi." So it's kind of neat. He forgets those days, but he certainly remembered them quickly. And he's like, "Oh, shoot, that's right. I can't sit here and talk strategy with TS and Mike all day long. We got to load this lounge and this office with our hospitality and our apparel, So he was super. He's a great human being. I call him a crewman's crew chief because while we were in the zoo, it wasn't other drivers coming up to him and saying hello. It wasn't other crew chiefs. It was all his old crew guys from over the years and crew guys from other teams. And I thought that was spectacular. And that's what our team is built on anyway. Our team is built on the roots. And without team members, you aren't racing. I don't care who you are driving the thing or who you are tuning it. You don't have good people working on it, you're done. So that's what I learned a lot about Ron Tobler throughout the weekend.
Yeah, and a lot of people want to know, and I know the answer to this, is why, to get off of the Tobler thing, and you mentioned the zoo, I won't bring all that up, but why did you choose Brainerd over going to Indy?
Really? It boils down, right, to our team members. First of all, Brainerd is a beautiful place to race. It's one thing Tobler is trying to bring to our team. It's not all about the racing, guys. It's also about having a good time, going to a place you like to race, going to a beautiful atmosphere. It's not all about running a 377. It's not all about that. It's about enjoying your time. We have gone to Indy so many times, guys. I think in our 40 years of drag racing, my dad and I have maybe missed it twice, 3 times tops. We're always there. Last year we were there. I felt like I lived in Indianapolis, for God's sake, all summer. I don't want to see Indianapolis again, guys. I just don't. Until next year, of course. We'll be there next year. But Brainerd, we haven't been there in a long time. Truthfully, Brainerd's been pretty bad to us. And it's still not my favorite place because of the negativity, right? Sorry, I'm shaking because I'm shaking my little camera. But I'll stop leaning on my desk. But Indy is a wonderful place too. But there's a special. It's my son. We'll let that go to. He's probably wondering, hey, Dad, can you come here and help me with my RC car or something? But we'll be in Indy again next year. Brainerd was a fun place. It was my birthday weekend. We rented a boat. We had a blast. We stayed in a resort. Every morning I got to look out my window and see the sunrise. Once again, guys, it's not all about drag racing. We have to have fun. I think John mentioned that a little bit, right? He's kind of done chasing championships. I heard a little bit of the end of that. By the way, John, is he still married to that beautiful woman? I remember her from like 10 years ago. She was fantastic. I wonder if they're still married or not. Well, why does my mind wander like that? I don't know.
Let's see. He actually has stayed in studio and he panned the camera. I think he is. If it's because there is a beautiful lady always hanging around with him. I know that much. So it must be the same gal.
Yeah, I remember her because John and I raced IHRA for a long time together. I don't know him personally. It looks like he has a kick-ass boat. I feel like going on over there and going boating with him. I think he's from Long Island or something, right?
Right.
Cool. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know where we were going with that, but it doesn't really matter. Brainerd versus Indy, that's the reason. Brainerd's a beautiful place. We haven't been there in a long time. We'll go to Indy again next year, and we'll enjoy it just as we normally do. Indy also costs a little extra money, right? In general, although this year, I'm sorry, I am wrong. I stand corrected. This coming year, I believe there's only 3 qualifying runs, and there's no Monday. I think that's correct. Is that correct, guys?
It is.
Okay. So I can't use that as an excuse, can I, guys?
No, but
no, you can.
And, honestly, I don't think people realize at times there's businesses involved. Like you and your family, you've got the body shop, and I think that's not quite all that it is. Y'all do some fine work, and it's more than just a body shop. But yeah, it's just like I work.
Do you guys want a sneak peek because you brought it up? Do you want a sneak peek of kind of out my window of what we're working on?
Yeah,
there was a few cars in there last time that we looked at, and it was like, okay, I need to see that soon. But right. You can be honest too. You really wanted to go to Brainerd.
Yeah,
to experience.
Yeah, I wanted to see what the zoo was all about, guys, and I will go back to Brainerd because of the zoo. I couldn't believe how many people were there. I couldn't believe how big it was. First of all, I'm with a celebrity like Ron Tobler, right? So it's 2 crew guys, me and Ron Tobler. And it's dark. We're in his little Toyota Corolla. We're surrounded by all these blinking lights and other things popping out of people's shirts and stuff. And, it's just like, wow, what is going on in this world? But what I found fascinating, I found a couple things fascinating about the zoo. You guys asked me about cars, but forget about cars. We'll talk about cars later. So we're cruising through the zoo. I don't really have anything on like this, right? I'm not going to do some PR stuff. I just got my hoodie on. It's dark. I'm in a dark colored car, and I've just got my arm out the window, just taking in all the sights. And all I hear is, "What's up, Zizzo?" And I'm just like, how do these people even know me? I don't come up here very often, and that was spectacular. I couldn't believe that. And then when we stepped out of the car and started navigating I'll call that, it was like the moon out there. I can't even describe it. It's not the Earth. I don't know where we were. And it was just the idea of a lot of great people having a lot of good times. So here I am in this area, and all people I see, it's you. the headphones on the right side. Yeah, right, you. So I'm like, because I was just like, holy cow, because you asked me, hey, are you going to the zoo tonight? I go, I'm not going to no damn zoo. That's just not my style. But of course, I ended up there. My first time, it was a riot. Like, there were stages set up, people just dressed up crazily. A lot of consuming of alcohol, blowing a weed through the pits. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I was blown away by what was happening out there. And we had to find this place called Judges or something. Is that where we were? Judges.
The good old. It seemed like every race car driver was there. It was the Napa. Napa had their thing. So Ron Capps was there. Hagen was there. Who else? Antron. So they were doing. There was like a PR thing kind of going around. So everyone made their way. Every team, was pretty much at Judges at some point of the night.
It was, and all of a sudden I see this like ski line up, and I'm like, I've been here before. I know what this looks like. I felt like I was in college again. I mean, look at these gray sideburns and stuff. And no hair. Like when I was doing that stuff, I had some beautiful locks and some big long sideburns and stuff, and here I am as an old man going, this is a shot ski. I know what this is about. And I see Gary Pritchard of all people freaking serving me up, and I'm just like, damn, this is gonna be fun.
What a night.
I will say it was a good time. And thank you, Sam, by the way. Thank you. We
don't even have to talk about it.
No, we do.
We don't need
his reaction right there. We do got to talk about it. Go on.
We do. We need to talk about this because I know this goes out to thousands of people and stuff. It's all good, but you know what?
Thousands, more the merrier.
But so here I am. I'm kind of a virgin at this, right? I'm in awe. Like seriously, my mouth was like the whole time. I'm just like, I was like a rubberneck. I'm just looking around, going, "Holy cow, what's going on here?" So there's a beer bong going around, right? And I'm like, everyone's like, "Yeah, Zizzo, you go ahead and do that." And I'm like, I can't drink water fast. I can't drink Coca-Cola fast. I don't drink anything fast. That's why usually I just have a little scotch. I got like a half a finger in here. I just sip this all night long, right? I mean, that's my deal. That's my jam. I could drink a glass of wine all night long, right? I don't drink a ton. So of course, Sam here, right? He has a Coors Light and he got the Coors Light. Was it Coors Light? I think it was Coors Light.
Yep,
remember.
Sure was. Oh, I remember. Hey, I was trying to be nice because everyone else wanted you to chug that whole beer.
Right.
So here I am being the nice guy, like, all right, here, I got you. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, he drank it all. He drank all gone. It's gone. Yep. Save Zizzo. This guy. Remember that.
You make me look good. You're like my team member. You make me look good, my man. And it was great because when you saved my ass, because I'm not going to guzzle that whole thing. Are you kidding? I'd be spewing that stuff all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I got to tell you, it was a good time.
Well, I'm glad the zoo was good. I've yet to experience it myself. I'm looking forward to that.
When are you going to do it? What's your deal? When are you coming?
It needs to be next year, hopefully.
There's people still there.
Yeah, there's people still there. I bet there are. I bet there are.
Guaranteed. I think it was like, do those people, do they have jobs? I don't know what's going on out there.
Okay, so let me clarify it for anyone that ever asked me this weekend, because I live 6 hours from Brainerd. We as Midwesterners, we don't really have much to do, okay? We like sporting events and we like camping because for 9 months out of the year, it's cold. So when we get a chance to go camping for a week, we do it. And why not entertain a little motorsports and a whole lot of camping? So we just save up our vacation, go camping in Brainerd for a week, and then you have pirate rides that are stacked on old station wagons. You have tiki bars with like 3,000 speakers on them. You have like 40 different parties. You have a nitro bar, that serves margaritas. You have, the living room, judges, all these different bars in like a 3,000 square foot community or whatever it is. It's
3,000 square
what we
feet.
like to do.
Yeah, that thing is like 3,000 acres or something. It's been like forever. 3,000 square feet. That's the size of this room I'm in, for God's sake. That place was so big, I couldn't believe it. It was nuts. It never ended. I swear to God. I could have driven our semi through there. It was so big.
I think there was a couple of them in there, actually, but, depends on how long you stayed out.
Yeah, probably loaded with beer, I imagine, for all the party goers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Jeff would have still drank them out of Coors Light.
Who would have?
That would be Jeff
Arend.
Arend. He is known for his Coors Light.
Okay, he likes his Coors Light. So he would have had no problem, right?
No problem. No problem.
Oh my God! And the cool thing is, I felt great the next day. I was like, "Oh, this is fucking fine." Like I strolled into our hotel. It was still fairly early. It wasn't too bad, right? I mean, I don't know. Too late.
No, most of us got out of there around like 11 o'clock. So I mean, curfew was still applied, and everybody was good.
Right. It was fantastic, guys. I got to tell you, it was the reason we went to Brainerd. I didn't think I was going to end up there, and I did, and I'm glad I did. And I would like to go back because of the zoo. I really would. And I'm not that guy, right? I'm a guy. I'm a hardworking son of a gun who works 100 hours a week. My wife freaking hates me right now, guys. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who hates me? It's certainly my wife. So I'm going to try to. I woke up this morning and I'm trying to change my life. I am going to actually take off Saturdays. I will work Sundays. And she doesn't even know the show. She's not even going to know what to do with me on Saturday because I haven't seen my wife or my kids for like months. Actually, like months. So I'm going to be there on a Saturday morning. I'm going to get up and I'm just going to have a cup of coffee. And instead of like getting up at 5:50 in the morning to come to work, I'm just going to lay there. Hey guys, maybe I'll even get lucky. You never know. Like if I'm at home, I got a better chance of getting lucky at home than I do being at the shop, right? She's going to look at me and go, well, what, TJ, what are you doing? Are you going to go to work today? And I'm going to be like, you know what? No, Jen, I'm going to stay at home today. And she's probably going to be wanting to kick my ass out of the house by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hey, this is what you got to do after hanging out with Tobler for a weekend. You need to, at the end of the day, put on some Ice Cube. Today was a good day. And, and call Toes and be like, you know what? I learned something. He'd be proud of you.
Yeah, he would. We actually got in our lounge. We have a little sub. It's pretty badass. Actually, we got a little sub there. We got a killer stereo. I mean, we did it up right. Once again, I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's working on everything. But to be able to listen to some good music, a little Ice Cube, whatever it may be, a little Snoop Dogg, maybe. It's good stuff, guys. I'm living a dream. I might have lost first round against Salinas, but truthfully, in 30 days, we're going to be back in St. Louis, doing it again. So it's fun, man. It's a blast.
All right. Speaking of the car, let's get back on the tracks here just a little bit. Bring it back in. Here it is at launch. Man, once again, y'all have knocked it out of the park. Beautiful looking race car. Got a little bit more black on it this year, celebrating 100 years for Rust-Oleum. Got some blue with some stars in the field there. Looking good. So talk to us about your partnership with Rust-Oleum, their 100 years, and another sick looking race car, man.
I'm kind of lost for words, guys, really, right? we've had great partners over the years. I mean, we had Peak Antifreeze for 12 years or so. Brian Bolander and Brian worked for Peak. We really worked hard for him over the course of time. Those are some good-looking cars, too. I remember the Kenny Youngblood, world's fastest art gallery car. There were a lot of good things happening there, too, right? But Rust-Oleum's a whole new world. We've been together now for, I believe, 6 or 7 years. I've been working for them for more than that. I was working for them before we went racing with them. There's a wonderful graphic designer over there. Her name is Nikki. She actually came up to the racetrack with her parents and her fiance. She loves this project. She designs it all. She did it all. She has been instrumental in our fire suits, our car design from the get-go, pretty much. And she's done a fantastic job, and it's her favorite project. She works on projects all day long, right? Like spray can projects, or let's design this cool gallon container. No, this is cool stuff she's working on, and she really appreciates it. So I give her all the credit. I just have to implement it, right? It's like anything else. Sure, we have to paint it and we have to lay the graphics, and I got my hands on all of that. The guy who does all our glass work on our cars in our shop, he does all of the decals and wrap for us. Of course, we paint it here. It's a lot of time, guys. I'll tell you. I'm taking a deep breath because we spend thousands upon thousands of hours on this race car. And truthfully, it's a lot of work for 2 races, guys. It's a lot. To change over simple things like uniforms, fire suits, decals, wraps. People don't understand. These uniforms right here, we'll spend about $8,500 through Simpson just for our team uniforms to go to the starting line, and a couple extras, of course, for friends and family and sponsors. And then it's going to cost us another $3,500 to $4,500 to wrap it and get all the decals organized. And then I got to get a fire suit for another $3,500. So before you know it, sorry, I'm shaking my table again. Before you know it, we're at 20 grand. Let's just round it up to 20 grand to change over what we were doing last year to this year. But I'm glad you guys noticed these things. Our body shop is one of the cleanest body shops in the country, and I could tell you that for sure. It's heated, it's air conditioned, it's our body shop. You could eat off the floor. If I could point our camera down at the floor, you could eat off it. It's the way my dad and I live. My dad taught me how to be organized, and I've carried on that tradition. It's the way. That's why Tolbert and I think, get along so well. Like, we'll be joking. I'm like, what are you doing today? It's a Saturday morning, Ron. He goes, I'm cleaning my baseboard in my bathroom, making sure my white baseboard is nice and clean and organized and looks pretty and shiny. And maybe I'll touch up some nicks, in the corners where the vacuum cleaner has nicked it. I'm the same way. So, I'm here on my hands and knees. Actually, if you can see my jeans, they're all my jeans. My knees are usually torn on my jeans because I'm always on my knees cleaning stuff up, making sure things are organized. I tell my daughter here at our shop, you got to get on your hands and knees to clean our floor. This isn't just a mop. You're not going to just use a mop. I want to see those corners mint too. So I think that's why our team looks the way it does, because all of us at Zizzo Racing really care about the way we present ourselves. We want to be as professional as possible. I always say we're the most professional, unprofessional team on the tour. And I could believe that. I know other guys like Doug Foley, he carries himself well too. I'm just trying to think of part-timers that when they go there, people know they're there and expect them to do good things and look good too.
Yeah, but Doug Foley hired a guy like me. What was he thinking?
I don't know, dude. When I met you the first time, I don't remember where it was exactly.
It was Indy.
And I'm like, do you remember where it was?
It was Indy.
Was it Indy? I was going to say maybe St. Louis. It was Indy, right? And I'm like, dude, who's this guy? Like, Look at his glasses. Like, that's what I'm thinking to myself. Like, this guy is going to be a riot. And then you were so freaking professional. You carried yourself well. You asked great questions. And you had the sunglasses, which everyone remembers. Everyone. I didn't swear. You hear that? Bobby, you hear that? I covered it up. I almost said the F word, but I slowed it down. But your sunglasses. Who doesn't know you by that in a freaking big red beard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Image,
Hey, even
brother.
John Forrest knows me. I'm the Amish guy.
Does he call you that, really?
Yes, he calls me that.
Oh, yeah. The Amish Stevie Wonder.
Yes,
Oh, my
yes.
God, I love it. But, we all have an image, right? I mean, look at us.
We
you
do.
know? So that's part of how people remember you. I know the reason I wear stuff like this, right? I'm everywhere except the zoo, right? is because John Forrest taught me that, and he doesn't even know that. Like, I would see him at shows when I was a kid, right? And he would always be wearing his Castrol stuff or Wendy's or whatever it was. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that's genius, because people might not recognize you if you're wearing street clothes. But if you're wearing your stuff, then people automatically, know who you are. And that's one reason, like when I go to SEMA, I'm wearing this stuff. I feel like at least maybe somebody will recognize me. One person, hey, how you doing? TJ Zizzo? Oh yeah, right on. That's why I was so impressed with the zoo. Like I was wearing this hoodie. I was just wearing this hoodie, right? Just strolling around. Really don't know who I am unless you maybe see the back. But I was sitting in a car, and people knew who I was. It was cool. It was, I don't know, man. Drag racing is filled with a lot of wonderful people. A lot of wonderful people, and that's one of the reasons I still get up in the morning to do it. Jen, my wife, it's really serious. It's the reason I love you. I love you to death. But man, the sport of drag racing is filled with a ton of people that are wonderful. The fans are awesome. They really, I can't even describe it. Like, I don't think there's a sport in the world where fans are so damn friendly. They're friendly to one another. They're friendly to drivers. They're friendly to team members. They're good people. They have big hearts. I love our sport, guys. I do. And am I a little discouraged that there were only 11 cars in Brainerd? Yeah, but I was glad I was one of them. At least we were one of the 11. So the sport's wonderful, guys. It really is.
No, and that's what it's all about. How do we, as media, as fans, as people in this sport, help TJ Zizzo and your racing program get to more events? Because your atmosphere, your vibe of being at the racetrack, people will see it. I have a short clip that I made of you on there on Sunday morning. But what can we do? Or if there's anyone that's listening that maybe have the potential to help you, what can we do to get your race program, your love for the sport back out at the track?
Get all these cars out of my shop. Get them all out. That's how you get me to the racetrack. You get all these things, and you can see there's a Pace bus back there, for God's sake, that we're working on. I mean, I wish I could get the whole shop. Can I get the whole shop? Maybe I go to my security cameras. You can see everything back there and around. If you guys could get all of those cars out of my shop, I would go to all the races in the world. It's not a money thing, guys. It isn't. I got to tell you, I'm in a great spot. It's, everyone says, oh, if I had more money, if I had, it's not that. Rust-Oleum treats us awesome. They allow us great, wonderful things. We have more equipment, I think, than Clay Milligan has, for God's sake. We have really grown our inventory and built a program, and we are certainly ready for a second semi. There is no doubt about that. We are loaded to the gills. Sam, it's time. It's time. There's our body shop kills it, man. We kill it. We need to expand again. We just expanded. We need to expand again. I think it's my wonderful personality, right, that brings our customers here. It's certainly not my good looks. I know that. But guys, once again, I'm a workaholic. I work over 100 hours a week, every week. I enjoy what I do, so I don't think it's work, right? It's not work if you love what you do. To do all this work to go to 2 races this season, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to any of our team members, all that stuff. But we could go to more. I mean, that's the deal. We can go to more. We have money to go to more. But we're just choosing not to. Our contract with Rust-Oleum, and I tell everybody anything, so I'll tell your million listeners this. Our contract runs from June 1st to May 31st, right? So we could go to as many races as we want and can choose in that time frame. But it's a challenge for us to do that. Now, moving forward, next year we're going to go to more races. Remember, I mentioned that June 1st to May 31st. So we're going to go to more events next year because we just signed our newest contract, which lasts till 2025. That's a long time from now, guys. I'm gonna be freaking bald. I'm gonna look like this. That's sort of, hey guys, what's going on? Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna look like 5 years from now, right? I mean, I look like Bozo now, but I'm gonna look terrible. Maybe my son will be driving our car by then. Who knows? You know, he'll be lighter, faster, better. You know, like Bob Bodie and Bobby Bodie. You know, I see how that has transitioned, and my dad transitioned about my age to me. So, you know, I don't need to drive this thing. I mean, I enjoy the people. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy building a team and managing it and all that stuff, right? I enjoy being at the racetrack with my dad. Truly driving the semi with my dad all the time is a riot. We have a good time. You know, it was like 1:30 in the morning. We're cruising down through like Milwaukee. You know, I'm seeing Chicago. I'm like, cool, man. I'm only like 80 miles from home now. This is freaking great. And my dad looks over and goes, "Oh, snap." And I'm like, "What? Did you say, oh, smack?" He goes, "No, oh, snap." And these are the reasons I drag race too, because I get to spend quality time with my old man. He's a riot. He is a riot. Absolutely. So we'll go to more races next year. There is no doubt in my mind. Would we like to go to 6 to 8? Yeah, I think 6 to 8 fits us well because our team members could still go to work full time and be with our race team and prepare things well. I think that's a goal of mine personally. But once again, it's that time thing that creeps up on all of us. It is.
Well, TJ, man, the racing community wants more Zizzo. I think the racing community could definitely use some more Zizzo. So we're looking forward to you having more races next year, maybe even more after next year as well in the year to come. But, man, thank you for being right here on the Competition Plus Power Hour and being the live wire that you are, man. Thanks.
You're welcome, guys. Monday Morning Racer, you are a riot. You do a great job. You're super professional. You got an image, my man. I love it. And Sam, you know, always a pleasure. When I see your smile, man, it makes me smile. So right on, guys. I appreciate it. Bobby Bennett, you're a stud. Power Hour is an awesome deal. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you again.
So,
man, Lee,
the beer
I told you, man. So there, obviously, Tyler said he has a video of it. So I was just trying, like, everybody wanted to see him do it, but I knew, like, I'm like, dude, no way, give this guy a whole beer. So I'm like, at least if I do it, I can like pour it, act like I was pouring, and then I stuck my thumb inside the beer and just held it open so nothing was really going out, and then I took it away really quick. But I mean, hey, you know, just give them a little what they want. Everyone was happy, but everyone was safe.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
All I got to say is you definitely seem more experienced than I thought, but you still can't handle your meat. Man,
dude, no Brazilian steakhouses or whatever that. No. Only thing I want from that place is the bottom bacon. Next time we go to Vegas at the end of the year, who knows? You know what we need to do? We need to get Tobler and like a driver to come with us to experience that bottom bacon, and then we can record it so they understand it.
Like Tobler can tell us about the wine, but I can tell everybody about the bottom bacon.
They have no idea. And I like what Deuce Wild says there. There's 50 people watching and only 24 thumbs up and shares. Come on, guys! This show is, yeah. I mean, we are on here. We're talking. Yes, we had a great time with Zizzo. He's a great person. His energy, his atmosphere. Like I said, even the next morning I came up and he was signing an autograph for a kid and just having a fluid conversation with this kid just about what they do. And before that, he had like a 15-year-old kid. And he's like, man, what are you doing? The kid's like, oh, I work. And he's like, wait a minute, you work? The kid's like, yeah, I'm 15 years old. And he's like, asking questions, because up here in the Midwest, you can definitely start working a little bit younger. But man, it's just great to see people that genuinely care about their fans, people that care about the sport. And Zizzo just has that. He has that raw emotion, and it shows. And we need more people like him in the sport to continue to grow it and give back. And you can tell. Zizzo, I mean, the guy
Zizzo, the first interview he's talking about, that Indy, man, he's passionate about the fans. He mentioned that in the interview that I had with him, and he is genuinely passionate about the fan. He was just shocked. It was a warm Indy, and he was very shocked at just how many fans there were, and that they were sticking it out. They were going through the elements, and we need drivers like that. Again, what Zizzo, Steve Johnson, Stevie Jackson, those drivers, what they're bringing to the table, and Ryder in the case with Steve Johnson, we need more of that out there in drag racing. So if we could bottle some Zizzo and, get it out there and let drivers consume that, that would be awesome. Hey,
man, are you looking at the comment section right now?
Hey,
Wes
Buck.
Wes
How
Buck.
you doing, Wes? Good to have you on. Look,
man,
he asked, which one of you guys are going to field a top fuel car? Wes, I'm trying to help. I work with Doug Foley. I'm trying to find sponsors. We got some good announcements coming. We do. Just saying. Everybody look out, Foley Lewis Racing. But yeah, I'm trying to do something.
Man, Wes is just trying to throw us right there on the spot, asking, what are we going to do with this? I mean, I think maybe that was throwing a little bit back shade when we were saying that we need Mountain Motor Pro Stock at his event. Who knows? But
hey, whoa, wait a minute.
What can we do?
Hey, well, but Mr. Doorslammer, what's going on in NHRA Pro Mod right now?
Oh,
but give credit.
He's never going to bring us on this show.
I know. Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod Association, Midwest Drag Racing Series. Man, kudos to them. They've got something right in Pro Mod going on. Look, Scriba, he won over a blower, and he's a nitrous car. That's not supposed to happen.
Very true. God, the comments are just rolling in from West Buck. We're going to have to field some of these. Guys, you want to flip a coin? What do we like? I think at this point, Wes, and maybe you'll talk about it on your show tomorrow, but at this point, we all need to just band together as media, as fans. I know we argue, we agree to disagree. That's the beautiful of this show. I am Shannon Sharp. He is Skip Bayless over there, this guy. And we go back and forth and to talk about it, to yak it up about the sport that we love and that we continue to have more conversations about, and as you would say, drive the needle forward. We need to challenge ourselves and challenge these people. There's got to be people that have cars in garages, in shops, in toter homes, sitting across this platform that are not bringing them out for certain reasons. And because of that, I think we are starting to see less and less smaller teams. Guys aren't getting rid of things. They're keeping them as collectors. And, We need, even if it's smaller teams, or maybe, hey, Elite Motorsports, adopt a team for a weekend. I don't know if you can or if you can't, but let's do it. Like, why not?
I think we're suffering right now from years of poor pit business decisions. And I don't know if it's just NHRA. I don't know if it's just one team or one man or one person, but we are suffering from years of bad business decisions and not attempting to push the ball forward, not doing Wes Buck things like he did with the World Series of Pro Mod and World Door Slammer Nationals, and what others have done with big promotions. Like tomorrow, Thursday night, I'm going to have Chris Graves on. And what Chris Graves is doing with Nitro Chaos and Funny Car Chaos and all the chaos, it is spectacular. And I think there are elements we need to take from what Chris is doing. We need to take from what Wes is doing. Look, I get it. The NHRA is the premier level of drag racing, undeniable. But they need to start having some observation teams go to some other races and say, this is working here. We need to implement it on this level. And Nitro has got to start doing more than just relying on header flames. As much as I love header flames, there's more to it.
And Wes is putting out a lot of promoters right now that do a phenomenal job across the board in different atmospheres of racing. But
Roy Stamper, that's Spooled Media down here in South Carolina territory.
Bill Bader.
Keith Haney, Midwest Drag Racing Series.
I think, and I'm going to say this boldly, hopefully I don't get my ears chopped off and everything like this. I think we've relied on Nitro enough. And this isn't a shout out to anyone. Like I said, we just had Zizzo on, and he is a great ambassador for our sport. But I can guarantee you, even if he was in a door car or anything else, he would still be a great ambassador for the sport because he loves it. We cannot continue to rely on just Nitro. We can't. Because a lot of people cannot relate to Nitro. The biggest question with Nitro is, well, how much does it cost? Well, if you want to break it down, it's about $43 a gallon, roughly. I mean, if you want to get technical with it, it's roughly about $43 a gallon. Think about how much fuel these guys are burning at the starting line, period. You know what I mean? Door slammer racing, door cars relate to more people across the world. I can go into my garage right now. I have an 87 Fox body sitting there. You can go down to your friend's shop and see, an old Camaro, a split bumper. You can see another Fox body that's got an LS in it. You can see a junkyard build. Door cars are more relatable to everyone. We have to stop relying on header flames. We get it. We love it. We see it. But it's more than that. There's stories behind this. Where did they come from? How did they get there? What's their next plan? Perfect example. We had him on the show today, John, talking about, I'm not worried about chasing the championships anymore. He's done that. He's having fun. You have the story of Johnny Placino, who's out there doing it with his dad. You know what I mean? It's all these different stories, and it's a family atmosphere. We have to continue to drive the needle forward and take a step back and say, how do I relate to the everyday fan? Had a guy come up to me in Brainerd. I don't mean to continue talking, but he said, Sam, what is your kind of idea of NHRA? And I asked him, I said, no, I want to know from you first. And he said, NHRA caters to a 40-year-old man that has a Corvette or an old Camaro or an old Mustang in his car. And I said, I took a step back because I'm like, wow, that's where we've been. We have to cater to the younger generation. If we want to grow this, it's just like creating a new baseball team. We are in our years right now of how do we get the younger generation involved? How do we get them to see what we loved for years? So to do that, we got to promote our junior programs. We got to promote our everyday bracket racing programs. But a lot of the kids, a lot of people you and I's age, Lee, are into door slammer racing. And I don't know if Wes Bucks got hacked tonight or what's going on, but
I don't know if he's hacked, but he might have hacked himself somehow. He is definitely firing off.
He may be in the zoo right now. He may be the last man standing.
He may still be there. Yeah, he may still be there. Yeah, he may still be there. But Wes, look, thank you for chiming in, man. And Sam,
we're gonna flood your inbox and comments tomorrow on your show. By the way,
whether it's the Wes Buck show, whether it's my show Between the Slicks, yours Out of the Groove, this one right here, Competition Plus, Drag Zine, so many of them, we keep saying the same thing over and over, and they're true points. Like when it comes to relatability, when it comes to door slammers, right now, whether you're a fan or not, and I'm not the biggest fan, admittedly, but I appreciate what they're doing, and I appreciate the gains they've made, the No Prep Kings scene. There's the formula. And that
Wait. You can't talk about that because now Stevie Fast Jackson may never come on this show because I don't know if you've seen the controversy, the videos there, but it keeps the needle pressing forward, as Wes would say. It gets people talking about drag racing.
What's great about that is Stevie and Swan. They kind of went back and at it, but they're like, guys, we're having fun. Don't send us death threats. Like this, we appreciate what each other are doing. Don't send us death threats. And look, it's. I find it very interesting that the formula for No Prep Kings and Southeast Gasser Association isn't that different. You just got one that is locked into, like, we're going to be drag racing reenactors, but no time on the clock, so just a win light. We're going to have cars that look like cars, and they're going to be period accurate, and they're going to stay to a particular set of rules. Look at No Prep Kings. No clocks. Minimum track prep, because there is no track prep, and then the cars are going to look like the cars.
I have a question.
If Pro Stock, I wish someone had I'm going to say it. I wish someone right now in Pro Stock had the balls to bring out an actual OEM looking body, put the horsepower under it, and say, I'm running it. I don't care where I qualify. I don't care what I do. I'm going to be the show stopper, and I'm going to be the ones the fans gravitate towards.
I agree. I have a question for you, Lee, because it's been talked about a lot. Since we're going down it. Someone lit the fire. So here we go. Would the average Joe Blow fan of NHRA know the difference between Steve Torrance's 3.6 pass versus someone else's 3.70 pass, 3.80 pass? How cool, and maybe you guys in the comments can answer this, how cool will it be one weekend we just try it? Turn the clocks off. That's the excitement. Go to the World Door Slammer Nationals. Go to World Series of Pro Mod. Go to all these other events. You don't get to see the time. Cool.
Look,
it engages another excitement. Have a win light. How fast did that person go? We have to try something. We have to do anything. And you'll have people that say it. Nope, I'll skip that race. Why? Because it's something different. Vans were in style when I was in school, when I was in elementary school. Vans, Airwalks, DCs, and all the other skate shoes. Then they went out of style. So did hoop earrings. So did big sunglasses. But guess what? Lee's wearing them. They're making a comeback. Just saying. Everything goes full circle. Just because Netflix doesn't have commercials doesn't mean that you can't wait, like Bobby said, 30 minutes to figure out what happened on the racetrack. We're so entitled to our opinions that if we don't like it, well, I don't like it that way. I'm not ready for change.
It would be great to see some shakeup. And look, I've got Chris Graves coming on the show more than likely Thursday night. And talking about something different. He's doing what he's doing in the Midwest. I think it'd be cool to do something very similar to what Chris is doing on the East Coast and call it the Nitro No Time Nationals. And it just be win lights. Just be one-off event. Just be win lights. And it works elsewhere. And like Quayne Stott, Southeast Gasser Associations, he explains it this way. Why no times? Well, way back, you weren't worried about times in miles per hour. It was just who got to the line first. And he says, since nobody knows what everybody's running, there's no way to really predict who is going to win. Therefore, people stay right to the end to see who is going to win. Makes sense. Why not have at least one NHRA all-star race possibly where why bother with the times?
I get it. And people are saying that, we like the times. I get it. Trust me. On Sunday, going up there and seeing, wow, does anyone, after the weekend, does anyone have a chance to throw it at Steve Torrance's, time? Yeah, we get that. But what we're saying right now is that we have to evolve. I know some people say that 8th mile racing is the death of, our industry. I don't think so. I think right now, and I can honestly speak for a lot of people, is that what Discovery has done and what Street Outlaws has done, what Donald Long has done, here's another West Buck statement, the slew of other promoters have done, the slew, I said that, Midwest thing too, but what they've done with this no time racing and this no prep racing and just getting back to the door slammer grassroots of everything has brought more fans to the sport of racing across the board. It's just one of those things, Lee, and I think, like you said, we have to grow with it. It's just like growing with the electric car. Do we like it? No. Is it going to happen? Probably. It's a phase, but
right.
It's how you weather that phase, and how we continue to grow the sport is continue to bring it. Everyone gave the no prep and the street outlaw guys crap, but look at who some of your drag racers are right now that are, the top of the town that these younger kids want to talk to. They want to go and talk to. If you can't tell me if Stevie Fast Jackson, he's there, kids are flocking to his pits. If Alex Laughlin was still driving his pro mod, people would be lined up at his pits. Lyle Barnett, where did he come from? Pro mod driver now. Go look at what he's doing on his weekends off. He's driving beer money. It's a radial tire car, no prep style car, small block LS and a Fox body. That's where it comes from.
Right. I will say this in closing. We've had some people chime in about, 8th mile drag racing. Well, what about mile drag racing? What about half mile drag racing? There's been a lot of different forms of drag racing that is not just quarter mile. What about drag strips where they're actually 10th mile? There's some 10th mile drag strips in my area. And why are they 10th mile? Because that's just the amount of room they have. They can't be any bigger. Is that any different? Drag racing is this. You have determined against a competitor to start somewhere and end somewhere and get there first is the winner. That, in essence, is drag racing. And I had someone, Top Fuel 173, he's on my show a lot. He sometimes watches this show. He wasn't a big fan of 8th mile drag racing. Well, he went to PDRA Maple Grove 2 weeks ago, saw his first professional 8th mile drag racing program with the PDRA, and he's like, man, that was one of the best drag races I've ever seen. I'm going back again next time PDRA comes around. Do not look at distance and say, oh, because of distance, I'm not going to count this as drag racing. It is just odd to me that people do that. I don't care if it's 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, half mile, full mile, 10th mile. If they just want to race with a 60-foot, let's see how competitive it can be and put something on the line for it. I think it can be entertaining. And as Wes has said in the comments, we got to recognize it is a show. It has to be entertaining. And we've got to entertain people. They come to the drag strip and they want to escape a little bit. And whether that's escaping through the pits and interacting with their drivers and pit crew, or whether it's in the stands watching cars go down the track, and whatever else a showman might add, it is entertainment. And we've got to entertain them. Are you not entertained?
You got to see more burn downs, man. Entertainment.
It's good. It was good. And we're still talking about it. And look, pro stock and door slammers to the front just on that alone. And look, whether you disagree with how they handled it, we're talking about it. It was this cool deal.
This is I think how we've kind of gone off of a veer here. The fork in the road. We took the wrong turn, and Siri is trying to turn us around through road construction. But go to Brian. If you want to laugh at everything that happened with the burn down and anything else, go to Brian Lone's Facebook page and just scroll down some of the stuff that he's posted. These songs that go with what's happening is hilarious. I took a time today to do that, but man, we've had a burn down. We've had some great saves. The sport's growing. But the biggest thing that we need to talk about before we end this show, and before you have a couple hours before you go and watch the West Buck show, that's a packed show tomorrow.
Yeah, it is.
It's got John Force on there. It's got John Force on there, so that's for sure like a 2-hour, 3-hour show. But remember this. We continue to talk about the burn down. We continue to talk about where this sport is heading. But the biggest thing you need to know is if you are not in Indy at the Big Go, something's wrong with you. If you can get there and support NHRA drag racing and show them that, guess what? No matter what, we are the most loyal fans, and show them that, hey, we can do this together. We support the series and we support the sponsors and the people that continue to give us this platform to do what we love to do. So pack the Big Go. Thank those sponsors that help you out, but continue to watch these drag racing shows. Continue to talk about it, because we don't talk about it, we'll never be equal to the stick and ball sports.
Sam, my motel is booked for the Big Go. I'm going to be there. And you watching, if you can at all possible, be there. Take the vacation. Take something out of savings. Use the 401k. Don't take me for financial advice. But get to the Big Go. Get there. I think this is going to be one that goes down in the history books. You want to bark about the entry list? The entry list is blown out of the water right now for Indy. I think it's like 19 top fuelers and 20-something funny cars. It's insane. It is insane.
Stay tuned to Outlaw Performance and Slam and Sam, because there's a lot of videos of why you need to be at the Big Go coming out soon. That's all I'm going to say on that. Lee, man, it's been an honor and it's been a pleasure to have Bobby and his Get Off of My Track segment tonight. Zizzo, as always, a ball of fire.
Right.
John, to speak on just what he's doing and continuing to push the sport forward, giving us another place to race legally, to give us another spot to give these kids and this younger generation one more shot at having a home for drag racing. Always great. More big news.
Okay.
We'll see Bo Butner racing
Yes.
in Indy.
Yes.
So
Looking forward to that.
a lot of great things coming out of drag racing. Like I said, again, shout out one more time. If you want to see some more videos on Mr. Montecalvo, you can check out what the limo guy has got going on. That is Scott, the limo guy at large. Lee, you've got some stuff from PDRA. But if you want to hear more racing talk, you need to tune in tomorrow to the Wes Buck Show. Obviously, he's on a tirade right now. He is amped up. He's been drinking that Monster Energy that John Force drinks. He's getting prepared for the show.
Right. And look, by the way, competitionplus.com is, I think, the best online drag racing magazine. But if you want the best in-print drag racing magazine, by the way, I'm a subscriber, it's Drag Illustrated. Love Drag Illustrated. It comes in that plastic cover. Every page has some of the best photography in the world in motorsports. Every page has great stories from the world of drag racing. And it's not just NHRA. It is NHRA, Southeast Gassers, Door Slammers, imports at World Door Slamming Nationals. Where's the air horn? I need an air horn. Somebody. Yes. Great magazine. If you are not subscribed, look, go to a racetrack with Van the Van Man. I can't remember his full name. Wes, put in there. What is his name? Find him. Best deal you can get, and you get discounts on the magazines he's got, and you get a t-shirt. And it's the best deal that you can get, I think. I'm pretty sure. That's what I did anyway. So, Sam, I'm done. I'm tired. Van Abernathy. There we go. Yes.
But one more thing. Don't forget, guys. The place where you can believe what you read on the internet. Slam and Sam there on top of the tower, taking pictures at beautiful, packed Brainerd. Great race. Looking forward to the big go and what else is in store for the sport that we love. Lee, as we're going to get down to the end of the track, safety safari has to get you because like John Force did, you got a little sideways, barely nicked the wall there. We went a little crazy with Zizzo talking about all the craziness that happened in the zoo, but we steered back. We got down the track. Lee, tell the good folks where they can find you, where they can support you, and how and where they'll see you next.
All right, look, Monday Morning Racer, just type it into Google. You'll find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, especially hit that subscribe button for me on YouTube. Thursday night, 8 p.m., Between the Slicks. I like to call it the most diverse drag racing talk show there is. Chris Graves, we're going to have him on. We're going to talk everything funny car chaos, nitro chaos, all the chaos that he is causing in the drag racing world, and I'm glad he is. We are going to be talking about it. For me, next, well, technically I'll be at Anderson Motor Speedway for some asphalt round-around, be filming that. But drag racing, for me, the next one, the big go, the U.S. Nationals. I want to see you there. I'll be there, and Slammin' Sam, who's going to close it out, he'll be there.
Yes, that is the goal, Lee, for me to be there. I want everyone to try and pack that track. We need a full house there at the big go. Like always, if I'm not there, which I really, really, really want to be there, but I will be driving a hobby stock car here in my local town of Minot, North Dakota, but we will be at the big go. So speak it into existence and it shall happen. You guys can find me. I am Slammin' Sam. I do have a Facebook page and a Twitter under that name, just to keep you knowing of what the weird different things I'm going. But if you ever want to check out my content, personal created content, you can go over to Outlaw Performance ENT, and that's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So yes, you need to go to that YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, because we're dropping great content weekly. We have a podcast called In the Groove. The next guest to appear on that is a kind of a secret. Undercover, new up-and-coming IMCA driver, so we're kind of keeping that under the wraps until he makes his debut. But you can go and check out every episode of In the Groove podcast Again, if you guys want to email us any questions for this crazy show that Bobby Bennett lets us talk about, email us. That's powerhourcp@gmail.com. You can listen to all these back on podcast form. You want to listen to it tomorrow, you can do that. You want to listen back to John Force, you can do that. Again, on behalf of Bobby Bennett, Jeff Aran, and the whole Competition Plus staff, Monday Morning Racer Lee, myself, Slam and Sam, thank you guys for staying tuned to this wild ride. Thank you guys for continuing to talk drag racing with us every week. But until next week, you guys remember, pack the big go, drive fast, take chances, and God bless.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.